Hi, this is Randy. Well, as you can see, I'm getting my porch done, and it should be being done by my ex-husband. This is a job that he could have done and would have done had he not been a sex-addicted narcissist. So instead, I'm paying this older man to do my porch, and I found an article on married to a sex addict.com, and I'm going to read it. Why do relationships with sex addicts become so dysfunctional? Sex addiction seems to be the hot topic of the news media these days, especially with the outing of the celebrities or their spouses. The effects of living with a sex addict are subtle but deep, destructive to our sense of safety, emotionally devastating, and life-changing. As the relationship with a sex addict progresses, our personalities change. We try to find normal ways to deal with an abnormal situation. Sex addicts have two sides to their personalities, and the deception over who they are, what they believe in, and what they are doing presents an ever-changing, contradictory picture that is impossible to make sense of. Because of our natural and normal desire to please our partner and our need to feel loved in return, we often feel the outrageous lies we are told. We often believe the outrageous lies that we're told, and we blame ourselves for the sex addict's behavior. In a society that worships physical perfection, we start to think that if we were only younger, prettier, thinner, nicer, or Mother Teresa-like, with a body like Paris Hilton or J-Lo, that our spouse would finally love us the way we deserve to be loved. If only we were more perfect, he would stop looking elsewhere for satisfaction and stay home with us. And I just want to add that this is not only what we think, but when you mention that your husband was a sex addict or that your husband cheated on you, what most people want to jump to the conclusion is that you must not have been giving him the right sex and he wasn't satisfied with you. And here it's saying that that's a conclusion that we jump to with a sex addict. And we should not be blaming ourselves. It is not true. It's not that they're not satisfied with us or that we weren't having sex with them. Get that through your head. Society, get that through your head. Stop blaming the partner. He's a goddamn sex addict. He's not going to be satisfied with anyone, no matter how young or pretty she is. No matter how much sex she gives. There's a phrase that 12 steps use to describe the irrational thoughts of sex addicts. It's called stinkin' thinkin'. I'm going to skip that one, that paragraph. Society and the media want to label the women, the wives, the partners of the sex addict as codependent or co-addicts. Even counselors in the 12-step co-groups like COSA, which is something about codependence and sex addicts or whatever. It's one of those AA groups type things. Those groups embrace this theory and demean these women even more by offering to fix their personality defects. They put the cart before the horse by stating that these women chose the sex addict because of these personality defects, when in reality a normal, loving, nurturing woman has had her self-esteem and sense of worth slowly eroded and destroyed. Again, they put the cart before the horse and act like this is what we chose? No, I'm sorry, I didn't choose that. I didn't know that was the case. Spouses and partners of sex addicts have no control over the addict's behavior. Sex addicts will act out whether you are living with them or not, whether you're aware of their addiction or not, whether you are nurturing or a bitch. Sex addiction belongs to the addict and only to the addict, but unfortunately, sex addiction causes serious trauma to those around them, just like the narcissist. And stop blaming us for being with a covert narcissist. That's the whole point. Covert. You get it? Nobody knows. Nobody knew. You can't tell beforehand. Get that through your thick skulls. Society. I'm sick of being blamed for choosing a covert, sneaky sex addict who still is in denial about it and is still a sex addict. His wife doesn't know this about him, even though I told her. She doesn't know. She just knows about the weird things he does with her. She has no idea what else he's doing online and with other people right now. She's in la la land, thinking that she's got herself some kind of older man catch. And she's so dumb. See, I warned her. There wasn't anybody to warn me. I don't even know if he was a sex addict at the time when I got together with him. In fact, I don't think he was. I think he became a sex addict while he was with me. For 16 years he was with me. He became a sex addict during that time. That's when he got addicted to it. It was because of me, I guess, he got addicted to sex. Is that my fault? Remember, the longer you let things continue, the more you're enabling and allowing the behavior to continue. A really common excuse I hear is that I love them, so I need them to be there. I need to be there for them. Don't kid yourself. How are you showing someone love by letting them continue along a destructive path? Real love is often taking the tough approach, setting boundaries, being firm, and creating consequences for the bad behaviors. Ultimately, that's the best chance you have of creating change. They're talking about the spouse here, creating change. I'm telling you right now, the spouse cannot create change with a sex addict, just like you can't create change with a narcissist. It's not on the spouse. They can do anything. They can do flips. They can inherit millions. They can lose weight, gain weight, get boobs. They can be the nicest person on earth. They can get a traumatic brain injury and say yes to the narcissist, sex addict, and agree to everything, and they will still be cheated on. They still will be abused. Stop blaming the spouse. Ultimately, that's the best chance you have of creating change. Well, I disagree with that. The spouse cannot create one bit of change. It's all on the person with the sickness. Otherwise, you'll continue being a doormat and will lose all your sense of self-worth. Yeah, no shit you will. Not only is your spouse's life being destroyed, but yours as well. What? I don't know who they're talking about here. Now I'm lost. Anyway, this article was supposed to be in support of the spouses of the partners, saying that the spouses of these sex addicts get mixed messages as if there's something they can really do about it. There's some way, perfect way to act, perfect way to be, perfect way to handle the treatment, or perfect way to respond, where you're going to somehow affect this narcissistic sex addict. Even if they're not a narcissist and they're just a sex addict, which I shouldn't say just, because it's bad. It's really, really bad. It ends up being the same thing as a narcissist because it's abusive. It's secretive. And they're always on edge because they're addicted to something and they always have to get more and more. And it's just bullshit. It's just like heroin. Okay, I'm done. I'm done for now. Thanks for listening.